Welcome to the channel, I'm Red Cloud, bringing you another Disgaea RPG video, checking out Supreme Laharl, who is going to be the new best spear unit on the game. He also has the King chest piece attached to him, and let's check out his abilities, his skills, and his spells. And if you do enjoy the video, please do hit like, and if you aren't already, then please do consider subscribing to the channel for me. So we're starting with his abilities, which are really good, well-rounded. I think his leader one, Supreme Spear Arts, increases the attack and defense by 20% of the party spear weapon equipped characters. This is going to work out perfect for him. He's going to be on a spear team. It's where he's going to excel, so giving everyone that extra defense buff makes him a little bit less squishy, so that's very nice. His NE+1 Supreme Authority. At the beginning of the turn, the party's SP +7. SP battery abilities are always welcome for me. I'm always wanting the extra SP so I can get off the bigger moves more frequently, and it's fantastic that it's for the whole party, so they can all get off their support moves for Supreme Laharl without worrying about any sort of SP cost. His NE5 is his big one, his big DPS one, Path to Supremacy. At the beginning of the turn, if you are receiving the attack buff effect, the damage you do with your special move plus 65%. Now to proc this is going to be so easy because you will most likely be placing him last in your team for speed so that you can easily buff him with your other support characters, because for the wording of receiving the attack buff effect, you're going to need that little blue arrow that's going to be at the bottom of the screen on his little overlay of his picture. So this Supreme Spear Arts, his lead ability, will not proc his NE5. It needs to be, say, a Mega Braveheart or Braveheart, for example, ones which are going to activate the little blue arrow at the bottom of the screen. And then he's going to be dealing ridiculous damage. 65% is brilliant. That's going to make him one of the hardest hitting units in the game. I think it's going to be a toss-up between him and Saint Etna for the hardest hitter. So it'll be nice to see how that battle plays out. But what may give Supreme Laharl the edge is his NE+7 Black Flame Spear Arts. Party critical damage plus 30% when you're equipped with a spear weapon. So in case you didn't know, a spear weapon's critical rate is quite low at 8%, but its critical damage is currently at 150%. With this extra 30%, it puts it on par with critical damage for fist and axe units, which are currently 180%. So couple that with his NE5 with the 65% extra damage, he's going to be hitting crazy hard. So finding some units who support him, for example, you've got Void Dark on a spear team, you've got Beach Girl Laharl, they all give him extra damage dealt. What you're going to want to do in the future is find units that can increase the critical rate for him. Then he's going to deal even more damage. But so far for me, he's amazing. Let's check out his skills and his spells. The skills he learns: Supreme Style, a party buffing move, and a little self buff for himself. So the basic parameters other than HP plus 20% for the whole party, and then it increases his own action gauge by 500, meaning he's going to skip half the action gauge, which is very nice. This move itself will also activate his NE5 for the extra damage dealt, so it's always nice when the units can proc it themselves if you do lack other units that can't do that currently. And just buffing all the other basic parameters is pretty decent as well, makes him just a bit less squishy. Second skill he learns, Supreme Dark Flame, which is his cheap area of effect attack and also lowers all of the enemy's defense by 5%. So if this is in a raid or harder content, only 5%, but it's going to debuff that big boss's defense just by a fraction, but coupled up with other things he has to offer, but in my eyes still very decent. Third skill he's got, Supreme Impact, where it is one of those repeat prohibition technique where it's going to deal damage to the enemy, where it's an AoE move, so damaging all the enemies, plus it's going to be buffing his speed quite nicely because it's one of those speed plus number of enemy characters defeated by this technique times 12%. So it's going to get a decent buff to his speed as well with the more enemies he's defeated, but just be careful about placements with buffer unit because that will mean he's going to be overtaking them quite frequently if he's using this, and if he's using that Supreme Style as well, where his action gauge is being buffed to. That's going to throw his placement in the team all over the place, so just be mindful of that. His big S to S plus ranked move, Hades Flame Spear. This one is his only attribute move in his skills. It is the start attribute, but what's nice about this is that it just attacks one enemy, but it buffs the entire party's attack and defense by 30%, which is a very nice touch. On top of dealing incredible damage because it is an SS plus ranked move. So far his skills and his abilities are all ridiculous. Let's check out his magic spells. Quite minimal on his magic spells. He's got Fire, Mega Fire, Giga Fire, Omega Fire, and then he's got 2 debuff ones in Armor Break and Mega Armor Break. For me personally, I will take him to level 22 because Mega Armor Break is something I always like to have in my arsenal if it's available to me, because when comboed with other things like Bravehearts and Mega Braveheart, bringing the enemy's defense down is good because then you're obviously going to be dealing bigger numbers. But if you're not too worried about that to begin with, it's not a massive issue. He's got his defense debuff on his cheap AoE attack, and you can probably always find another unit to bring into the team that has Mega Armor Break. So maybe if you are lacking mana potions, don't worry about this one just yet, but I would say in the future, as a minimum, get to 22 if you can. But there you have it. That is Supreme Laharl, and that name is very accurate. He is Supreme, and he is going to wreak absolute havoc in the next set of raids, and for sure any sort of content that's coming, I'm sure he's going to be one of the hardest hitters, and you're going to see lots of people resetting to make sure they get that critical hit for that extra critical damage of 30% as well. But there you have it. Let me know below, what do you think of Supreme Laharl? Will you be summoning for him? And if not, why not? But hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do hit like, and if you aren't already, please do consider subscribing to the channel for me. That's all from me. Bye.